I'm good, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's the bit where you secretly film and then but tell me that you're not filming.
Don't do that.
Yep, so I'm Rafie, CEO of Genie AI. Apparently, really I'm just an intern. Nothing wrong with that. Every person is as important as the rest. Oh, that was so staged, wasn't it?
Felt like you have to get terms and conditions.
Just like caveat after caveat.
Well, you are a legal tech company.
That is true, that is true. Yeah, so our mission has always been to open source the law.
A lot of people won't like that.
Yeah, well, we basically believe, or let me put it this way, when we first started working in the legal tech industry, we worked with a lot of law firms, and we were just really surprised by how many documents, templates, and precedents they had. Yet they were making small tweaks and selling these things for thousands and thousands of pounds. And we thought, why not make this knowledge available to everyone? Because if everyone can see that, then not only is the world going to be a better place, but people can maybe draft their own contracts. Not sure which is more important, drafting your own contracts or the world being a better place. So yeah, we're really trying to open source legal templates, and we now have 1,500 legal templates freely available, open to Google. You don't need to log in, so everyone can access them. And it's very much community driven, so you can spot errors, have discussions under the templates. So lots of open source software have like a free tier where everyone can access it for free, and then for premium features they'll pay more. So we benefit from all the insights and data we collect from people using these documents, and then we sell those insights on a premium software tier. It was a big change to move away from law firms and focus on SMEs and corporates, because it's a totally different market. But it's much more exciting because we are actually changing society for the better. And there's definitely a place for law firms, but would rather not make the big corporate law firms richer. So yeah, this enables us not to be beholden to them, but to change the business model of law, so it incentivizes quality, not time, because you get that with the billable hour, and that's better for everyone.
Tell me about the billable hour.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big problem in the legal industry. Everyone hates the billable hour because you want to get your deal done as quickly as possible, but lawyers get paid for spending more time on the deal, and that's just what kind of infuriates everyone. So you need a business model that the more the client pays, the more value they get, and no one's cracked that yet, but that's what we're really excited to hopefully crack. And so we'll be implementing a usage-based pricing model very soon, so watch this space. Nitish is the man. We met during our MSc in machine learning course at the UCL and did lots of projects together very late at night, working till 2 a.m, just banging our heads about complex maths problems. And I think that's where our trust really developed, because you've got to work on difficult problems and go through difficult life situations before you can trust someone. And so we went together into Entrepreneur First, which is this kind of tech incubator for startups, and started Genie. And it's kind of weird because we're both tech people, we're not lawyers. But that really enables us to view the legal industry from a different pair of eyes, a different perspective, and hopefully turn the industry on its head. Yeah, we used to work, it was funny actually, we used to work 24/7, but really 24/7. Like we would be in this office in Bermondsey, which is basically a warehouse, and we'd buy loads of food, kind of carrots and small snacks, pile it in on the table, and then we'd sit there for as long as we can. Like that was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then get to 2 or 3 a.m. Everyone would have left hours ago. We're still there working, And one other guy was working with us, a chap called Zach in another startup. He would sit behind me, and we were literally zombies. So I would just grab a bit of food, rock back on my chair, just like he would open his mouth and I would just feed him and then would carry on working. And that was pretty much the early days. Someone got stabbed outside the building. I nearly got stabbed as well. I mean, it's probably not one for the cameras, but
maybe it is. Tell me about the time you almost got stabbed.
Okay. So it was winter, very, very cold, snowing. I left the building and went to get food. On the way, a whole bunch of 15-year-olds were on the estate on the second floor, snowballing everyone. I thought I'd take it upon myself to go to Tesco, buy a massive sack of potatoes, and on the way back I started throwing it back at them, trying to get them. And then one of them was like, "Oi, let's get him." And then before I knew it, there's a swarm of around 30 of them of all different ages just like running towards me. And I thought, oh shit, time to get out of here. And I had, brogues on and it was snowing, but I just ran as far as I could and got back to the office. But then two of them managed to catch up with me and they're walking towards me, and the door behind me had a code, so I couldn't get in fast enough. And one of them, he's just walking up to me and he had his hand in his hoodie, just like, it looked to me like he was holding something, and he's walking up to me and just looked like death. But just in that moment, one of my kind of friends opened the door, is on the phone on the business call, just like chatting shit. I was like, shit, thanks, and just like ducked in, shut the door.
You left them out there with him.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't the one they cared about, right? So I was like, oh shit, and he had no idea he just saved my life or something, I don't know, but yeah.
Wow. That's actually mad.
Yeah. So over those 5 years that we started Genie, we produced our first MVP, which we called Super Drafter, where you could go through a contract, click on any clause or paragraph, and using machine learning, you could see a whole range of alternative ways to draft that clause. So lawyers really liked that, but we eventually pivoted away from law firms to solve the greater vision of opening access to the law, open sourcing the law. And since then, we've grown to a team of nearly 20 people. We've raised £5 million to date, including one of the largest government grants ever awarded to a startup for over £1 million. We've done lots of work with governments, with the government, I should say. We have represented the Ministry of Justice on multiple trade missions abroad. We were mentioned in Parliament by the Shadow Secretary of Justice. We have advised the Law Policy Commission, and we have been published in the Law Society website. But most importantly, we now have over 3,000 companies using our app. Together they've they've worked on over 10,000 documents. And these are people who are real people, real companies that want to hire employees, build products, raise investments, and just create businesses. And we're basically facilitating that and powering them, enabling them to do their work without extortionate legal fees. So people think that working with the big law firms is financially better and lucrative, but the reality is there aren't that many big law firms. So if you really measure the market size, it's not that big. We calculated the market size for big law firms in the UK is about £200 million if you're selling software to them on an annual basis. But 99.9% of all companies in the UK are SMEs. And so that market is actually 2 or 3 billion. So it's around 30 times the size of big law firms.
I did not expect that to be the case.
Yeah. There's differences, like big law firms take a long time to sell to, which is much worse, but when you do sell, it's sticky, whereas startups die. But yeah, it's a big market. Yeah, so these last 2 weeks were, as a founder, you have ups and downs, and there's a framework I really like called 10-10-10, and it means what decision would you, how do you feel about any decision in 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months? And what you don't want is a decision which you like now, but you'll hate in 10 months or really regret in 10 months. On the contrary, if you can make a decision now that is really painful, but you'll be really grateful for in 10 months, you have to make that decision, even if people don't like you for it. And so yeah, we did a bit of a restructuring of the company. Without going into too much details, that has been difficult, but also really beneficial for the company. And we're moving much faster now. Everyone's giving 110%. And I'm really thankful to all the employees of Genie, many of whom have been there for 3-4 years now, which is a long time for a startup. And everyone's super passionate and just giving it their all.
I guess what I'm interested in is, what does that feel like as a person?